I showed my father the machine I built. I pulled the batteries out of an old radio, but the sound kept playing. I had built a small system where wind spun blades to create power. When my father saw it, for the first time he praised me, but the next thing I said made him fall silent. I told him I could build a much bigger generator, one strong enough to pump water from underground. We could irrigate the fields, and if we had water, we could survive the drought. But building it meant tearing apart his only bicycle. He did not believe me. He thought my invention was just a childish toy. In anger, he threw the machine out the door and forced me to go work in the fields. Until one day, a rare and devastating storm struck our land. My father tried desperately to save the seeds, but the flood waters swallowed everything without mercy. The rain stopped, yet the disaster was far from over. What followed was the worst drought in 100 years. The ground cracked open. Not a trace of moisture remained. Every crop withered and died. My father kept digging deeper into the earth. Every shovel of dirt rose into the air. But all we saw was dust and still no water. Staring at the little food we had left, my father fell silent. To survive, we ground the last corn into powder. After boiling it, that became our only meal. As the drought worsened, people began starving. Hungry villagers were forced to abandon their homes. By then, the famine had stripped away human kindness. One desperate man broke into our house and stole every bit of food we had. When my mother saw the empty storage room, she nearly lost all hope. Thankfully, the government finally stepped in, selling grain to villagers at a low price. My mother gathered every bit of savings we had and sent me to buy food. When I reached the grain station, I was stunned by the sight. Refugees from every direction crowded the place. After pushing through the crowd, I managed to buy only 40 pounds of grain. When I returned home, my father looked at the sack and said we would eat only once a day. That way the food might last longer. At that moment, I noticed a strange bicycle nearby. When its wheels turned, the headlight began to glow. That small beam of light sparked an idea inside my mind. I decided I would build a real generator and use it to pump water from the ground. But there was one huge problem. We had no electricity. That afternoon in physics class, I wrote notes as if my life depended on them. But the next moment I was expelled from school. The reason was simple. My father could no longer pay the full tuition. The drought had crushed the entire village. Every coin we had was spent on food. There was no money left for school. But I refused to give up because this idea was my only chance to survive.